I learned so much in the courses that I took for my adult education core classes. And these classes really gave me a framework of how I want to either form and create adult education courses and activities, like learning activities, as well as just how an adult learns. There's psychological aspects of it. And there's also the biggest factor that every adult that comes into the classroom setting, they have a lifetime experience with education, regardless if it's good or bad. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. So the educator really, really needs to take that into consideration as well, and understanding that not everyone that walks into the classroom learns the same way or receives information the same way. So as adult educators, we do have to, take that into consideration and constantly evaluate our courses, constantly ask for feedback from our students as well. And the classes that I took in my master's program gave me just a really, really solid foundation in order to be able to use these tools and concepts that I have throughout my career. I am currently an educational product specialist within the digital education unit of Texas A&M AgriLife. And my main focus in that group is through digital education. And there are just so many ways every single day that I can find how I can tie in what I've learned in my master's program into my daily life. So some of my favorite concepts that I learned, the first one was neuroplasticity. So basically, the mind can rewire and retrain itself. So sometimes you'll have a student coming into the classroom and they've possibly had a negative experience, but you can change that for them. It's all about just working with them and coaching them through their semester. There were also other concepts that came into play as well. We learned a lot about social justice issues in regards to adult education. So when the pandemic hit, the United States, we're very lucky to have just like the infrastructure that we have, while in other countries, there are several people who, just because of the fact that there's a pause on education due to lack of resources, lack of internet, it's setting them back many, many years. So it'll be interesting to see in the next couple years the research that comes out, that will really show us what impact COVID played in regards to education in general, for children as well as for adults. And as well as that, I've learned many different tools and how to utilize technology. And that's really where I want my main focus to be moving forward once I am completed with the program, is focus on that. And a couple of other things that we discussed and that I really embodied and really received is that of feminist pedagogy. And it's to where the instructor allows the student to really, really take charge of their learning journey. And that's very important, because if you're letting them take care of their learning journey, their motivation will increase. Their likelihood that they'll finish the course will increase. And on top of that, it also builds critical thinking skills for them as well, because you're having them tie in concepts that they've learned throughout the semester in an essay or in a discussion board. And we also learned a lot about, the founding fathers of adult education. One of my favorite ones is John Dewey. And just having that interaction, learning is a shared experience. And it really does take a community in order to promote and just nourish that educational component in an individual's life. Another really interesting topic that we discuss is the human capabilities approach, right? So it's basically when a person is learning, they don't place value based on extrinsic motivators, right? So they're not motivated by, oh, I might get an award, or oh, I might get a salary increase, or I might get recognition. What they're worried about and what their concern is does this fulfill me? Does this make me feel good? Does this allow me to give back to others? And I really can familiarize myself and just really relate to the human capabilities approach. And So yes, I will moving forward, the way that I will integrate this into my career and my life, I constantly integrate it every day in my life with adult education. I interact with adults every single day, and it's always a learning experience. Um, Definitely, I'm very big on evaluation, constant evaluations. Courses need to be evaluated continuously, and courses that I develop as well will go through the same evaluation process, as well as just keeping up with the latest education technology tools that are out there. So I really appreciate all of the professors that I had for my adult learning classes. I learned so much, and I literally will never forget all of the professors that I had. Each class had its own learning a bubble, it was just we learned so much, and I took away something different from each class that I can integrate, every single day for the rest of my life.